Alright guys, so this is another Patreon request, and this one comes from Bombastic, who asked me to do a Punisher story. And as always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, you guys can start sending me videos to do here on YouTube. But other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this, and let's get started with this story. So this basically, Bombastic asked me to do the story in question. Is kind of one that's been done a few times, but here we're going to go a little different because, yeah, we've seen Punisher in jail stories, but in here, in this story, Punisher doesn't just go to prison, he goes to the Raft. Yeah, he gets sent to the Raft instead of like a normal prison. So in here, essentially what has happened is that the Punisher's been captured. Punisher has been captured, not willingly. He was captured by the Avengers. And if you're wondering, is this going to is this tie into the whole hand thing? No, we're kind of ignoring that. But in here, Frank has been taken down by a group of street level characters, and they basically, on recommendation, are like, put him away somewhere where because like some of Frank's attorneys are like, we can put him in a regular prison and he can stay there, and they're like, no, he is gonna kill everyone, and also there's a chance he could just get out, and because we've tried this before of having Frank in prison. So that's when it's decided, because of how dangerous Frank Castle is as a person, he's sent to the Raft. So yeah, Frank Castle gets sent to a supermax prison for metahumans this time around, rather than just be, you know, put in a regular prison, because he's just too dangerous to be kept there. So the moment Frank enters the Raft, every supervillain in there is like, oh boy, we're gonna so rip him apart. And Frank, however, is just kind of like, whatever. So so Frank is just like, to quote Rorschach, I'm not locked in here with you, you're locked in here with me. And unfortunately, that doesn't flow well with some of the inmates, because some of them are incredibly powerful, and yeah, they're like, yeah, Frank, we know you're the boogeyman to like the common street thugs, but in here, there's some people here that will fight the Hulk and Thor on a daily basis. Case in point, that's when Carl Creel, aka the Absorber Man, comes up behind him and just slams his face into the table, and is just like, me, hi Frank. And they're like, look, some of the villains that gather together are all like, look, Frank, you are just a minnow here. You're some slick shit killer, but every time and yeah, we know you fought us, and we've even heard that you shot at Dr. Doom once. Here's the thing. You have no guns, and you got no friends in here. So, welcome to being the prison bitch. But that's the thing, is like Frank does fight some of the characters, but then that's when like someone like the Wrecker just comes up and just smacks him down to the ground. Sorry about that. But yeah, so Frank is kind of up shit creek without a paddle. But here's the thing, is that a lot of the villains are just like, you see, a lot of us think about killing you, Frank, but the thing of it is, it'd be much more fun to just fuck with you, because here's the thing, someone like Wrecker still has some of his power. It's dampened, but it's strong enough, and even if you could get a gun or a shiv, you'd probably kill some of us. But the thing of it is, you're not going to be able to kill all of us, because some of us have powers. Though dampened, we could kill you. They really hammer into Frank Castle that no matter what you do or how big of a badass you are quite literally so fucking beneath most of us. And I'm talking, like, not every villain. Like, some of the villains do think, oh shit, that's the Punisher, and we're all locked up in here with him. The other ones who are, like, bulletproof and full-on metahumans are like, yeah, you don't have an iron suit or god powers. You're gonna get your shit wrecked. So, every day, Frank gets into fights with the members of the Raft, and he gets his ass kicked a lot. Although he does land some pretty brutal blows on some of them, like he'll like bite off a finger or break an arm, shank someone who that does have breakable skin, things like that. But even Frank is like, look, I could handle like a prison, even a supermax prison, but one with metahumans, even I know when to throw in the towel and move on. So, fucking runny nose. Anyway, so Frank decides it's time to, I think it's time to just blow this pop stand and get everything together and leave. So, it turns out, as luck would have it, Frank does have a cellmate, and that cellmate is Herman Schultz, aka the Shocker. And the Shocker, a lot of people forget how smart he is as a person. He used to be an engineer. And so Shocker is like Shocker lives in fear of Frank Castle because he doesn't have his gloves, and he was like, even if I did have my fucking gloves on, I'd still get killed by you. So top bunk's yours, man. Just don't kill me. So Schultz, Herman and Frank also have this conversation where Herman's like, Punisher's like, you've robbed banks and harmed people. Yeah, but I never killed anyone. I never won. Yeah, that's the thing. To my knowledge, real quick, just stepping out for a second, to my knowledge, I don't think Shocker has killed anyone on purpose. I think he's been, and that's why I think Superior Foes, he was like, yeah, he was kind of like treated as the Captain Cold of the series. So Herman makes a point of saying, dude, all I did was steal money and fight Spider-Man. That's all I did. Why would you want to put a bullet in my head when I'm just, some schlub who's never taken a human life? And he's like, because you're evil? And he's like, fuck's sake, man! What kind of black and white world do you live in? Oh, right, it's on your shirt, I forgot. But eventually, Herman points out that, look, maybe there's a way we can get out together. Essentially what is that Herman has been, like I said, Herman is an engineer, so Shocker comes up with an idea to break out of prison, but he needs another person, and he's like, look, man, I know you don't like me, but listen, you're gonna get killed. They're gonna get bored with you and kill you at some point. So, if you want to stay here, that's fine, but you can help me and we can get the fuck out together. And that's what happens, is that, Herman tells Frank about this plan he's been building, and essentially is that he needs to get to the control tower, and in order to do that, Frank has to fake, Frank has to shank him because Herman's like, I have no idea to get to the control tower and malfunction the guard tower. That's it. Like, we can make a break for it, but the thing of it is, those guard towers will snipe us. And he's like, leave that to me. And then he pulls out a shank and stabs Herman. And he's like, guard, prisoner's hurt. So Punisher goes to solitary confinement. But before the guards come, he tells Herman straight up, if I'm going to solitary confinement, if you don't come for me, I will break out of this prison myself and kill you. So when that happens, Herman's in the ER. He gets out, gets the control tower, and short-circuits it, but causes all the prisoners to get out. So it's another breakout at the Raft. However, Punisher also gets out, and Herman, now back with his gauntlets, blows the cell that's holding him, gets Frank out, and he's like, we're cool, right? And he's like, I'm not putting a bullet in your head today, if that's what you mean. He's like, Jesus fucking Christ, edgelord. But by the end of it, the two go their ways, and Frank goes on back to being the Punisher. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much the story. So you guys tell me in the comments below what you guys think of it. Once again, I'd like to thank Bombastic for this Patreon request. And as always, if you'd like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below. Head on over to my Patreon. You guys start sending me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. But other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time, Multiverse.